You load 16 tons, what do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Greetings, Donald here, and if you know me at all, you know that I write resumes. In fact, you might even know that among the worldwide resume writers, I am a little bit famous. And there are some great resume writers out there, but nobody does this work better than I do. And having said that, nobody knows what I do. People ask me, what do you do? I tell them I write resumes, profiles, Really? Do people pay you to do that? Yes, they pay me well, because in certain cases I can add tens of thousands of dollars to a job offer. Can't do it for everybody. Maybe I could do it for you if you have had good successes with your past employers, if you've done some really important things for your past employer. But if you're the type of person who doesn't like to talk about it, that's where I come in. You know, many successful people on the job don't like to talk about themselves or their successes. In some cases, they feel they'll be perceived as braggarts, or maybe they just forgotten what they've done, or they just minimize it. People tell me all the time, anybody could do what I've done there. Well, I'm the judge of that. I've done this 1,800 times. And if I tell you, wow, that is really significant, it's significant. And I can get inside your head, and I can pull that goal right out of your head. I'll package it in a way that makes you look irresistible to potential employers. Instead of walking in there like a schlep, you come in there like Superman or Superwoman, and you get a very different kind of an offer. That's what I do. That's why people pay me to write their resumes. And in a second, I'll show you examples of what I do. I'll even show you exactly how I do it. And you're going to be tempted to say, that's the secret, Plain language. Well, I can do that. Well, go ahead and try. I tell you something. I make it look easy, but it's not. Okay, so here's example number one, $1 million resume before and after. And by the way, these stories are true, but I've changed all the identities. So example number one, here's a cybersecurity expert. He started working in a new job at a global bank. After a few weeks on the job, the cyber thieves in Europe invaded the bank with a new type of cyber attack. The bank jumped into emergency panic mode. They called in all the in-house staff as well as a team of consultants from the world's top cybersecurity company. The consultants knew what to do, but implementing their plan would create a mess. And cleaning up the mess might cost over $30 million to clean up. Instead of that, my client proposed a solution that could fix the problem without spending any money. He had already fixed this problem for his previous employer. Can you imagine that great contribution, saving the bank $30 million within his first month? A few years later, he got restless and wanted to change jobs. He told me that dramatic story about the $30 million, but I could not find it on his resume. Where's the $30 million success story, I asked. He pointed me to this little paragraph you see here on his resume. It's gibberish. 5 little bullet points that barely make any sense in English. On his new resume, we told his real story without getting into trouble, or violating any confidentiality. And that new resume catapulted him into the stratosphere. Bigger job and a 30% increase. You get the idea. Now, here's an example. Somebody I talked to this week, he went to a very top school like MIT for engineering. This resume is so impossibly dense that nobody will read it. And he graduated from good schools for a master's in engineering and an MBA, but he's stuck at mid-level at one of the world's largest corporations. And if what he told me is true, he performs head and shoulders better than his colleagues. He believes that he can outperform his boss. But now look at his resume. What does this show you? He's lost in the weeds of project details, and he can't show that he accomplished anything big for the company. Here's his summary paragraph for his current job. Very unimpressive. But as I asked him questions, it became clear to me that he had accomplished some big C-level things. But those accomplishments are locked up inside his head, and you won't find them on the resume. For example, he took charge of a strategically important project to outsource a big piece of IT, the first outsourcing project of its kind at this scale in the company's history, critical to the company's long-term survival, and 2 prior attempts had failed miserably. But he actually succeeded. Bang! Not only that, he devised a methodology so that other parts of the company could follow his lead. Bang! Now his resume is showing leadership for the worldwide enterprise. Bang! As a result, he saved many tens of millions of dollars for his own sector, and probably, over time, he'll save hundreds of millions for the worldwide enterprise. Bang, bang. I didn't have time to figure out all the follow-on benefits and value he created. But that's how you crash through your glass ceiling, okay? An outside interviewer asking you questions like that. Here's another example. A corporate CTO, Chief Technology Officer. His story is a tangled rat's nest on the original. Makes no sense at all. For outsiders, he looks like a loser who cannot communicate. His best information was locked up inside his head, where nobody can see it. The interview fixed that problem, and now his resume looks like Superman. He solves big global problems, tireless workaholic who contributes many tens of millions of dollars to the company's bottom line. His new resume shows what he can do, and he catapulted himself from CTO to a chief executive position at a smaller company. This person turned around a factory that had a nervous breakdown. The company had installed an extremely sophisticated SAP system, but it was not configured correctly. Suddenly, everything stopped working. Top management went into a panic. They fired the general manager and put my client in charge. And meanwhile, 200 people were just sitting around with nothing to do, which cost overall $1 million a day. Urgent. My client had no knowledge of SAP, but he was a very organized person who pulled the right people together and project managed the turnaround. He fixed the problem within a few weeks. A real hero. But look at his original resume. On the original, he looks like a low-level drone who supervises building facilities and maintenance. New resume tells his real story. And remember, if you've got great information, $1 million success that's locked up inside your head, call me ASAP and we'll create $1 million resume for you. I'm out of time, gotta go, but I wish you the very best of good luck in your search.